I'll never forget in October of 1996 when I was walking off the football field with my brother John and finding out for the first time that my dad had cancer, wondering what was going to happen to Faith Baptist Church and School. And I'd like to begin, Pastor Tim, for thanking you for your obedience. I know that at that time, you were at a huge ministry in Tennessee, a place where you really enjoyed being, and you had never thought of coming back to California. But when Pastor called and asked you to consider coming, it was something you were willing to do. And I'm incredibly grateful for that. I also wanted to thank you for your patience after you came, and Dad is obviously, his health was restored. You waited on the sideline. You were willing to be his right-hand man for many years. Pastor Tim, Kelly, thank you so much for these 20 years and the difference that you have made in Faith Baptist Church and School.
Pastor Tim, I'm thankful for you. Thankful for everything you've done for me and my walk with the Lord. Even if it's the little text that you send me, to the handshakes during church, or even the Chick-fil-A sandwiches. I can honestly say that you're not just my pastor, you're my friend.
I'm so thankful for Pastor Tim's family. When I came to Faith Baptist in 2006, he didn't hesitate to visit me after my first visit at the church. He married my wife and I. We've been at the church ever since. He's been a blessing and an encouragement to me. All I have to say about Pastor Tim and Kelly is that they're the real deal.
Thank you, Pastor Tim, for all you've done for me and my family, and I really thank you for serving for 20 years here. I'm thankful that you're my pastor just because you really do portray the love of Christ.
Thank you, Pastor Tim, for always being so considerate of others, putting others before yourself, and thank you for always being kind to me and my family whenever we come. I know it means a lot to me and my brother whenever we're here. You shake our hand, thank us for being here, and for loving on us. I really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart.
We love Pastor Tim and Miss Kelly because they really care about everyone that comes to faith, and they just really show the love of Christ through their lives.
Happy anniversary, Pastor Tim. We're so thankful that we were able to come here and meet you and Miss Kelly, and we're really grateful for all the years you put in here.
Hi, Pastor Tim. Happy 20th anniversary. We are so glad to be here at Faith Baptist working with you. It was a great first year for us.
Pastor, we love you and Kelly. We're so grateful for you. Thank you guys for being so hospitable to us and generous to our church. We love you. Happy 20th.
Pastor Tim, congratulations for 20 years in the ministry, and we are blessed to be part of it. We thank you for the trust. We thank you for your patience, and though sometimes you're part of the problem, but you're still there encouraging us, so thank you.
One word, Pastor Tim: love.
When I think of you both, I think about the journeys that you have traveled with me and have provided me with wisdom that to this day I am so appreciative for.
Pastor Tim, he came to our house about 12 years this October. And he knocked on our door, and my wife and I, we answered, and he led us to Christ. And he's just so faithful. And we started coming to the church, and I can honestly say that he transformed our lives, because we now not only just attend this church, we serve here. My wife is in the teaching ministry, and our children go here. So I can tell you that with just one knock on the door, because he thought it was important to knock and to reach people for Christ, he has completely changed our lives.
I will never forget all those years I was away from God when Pastor would text me and call me every month and pursue me like I was the last soul on earth. Thank you, Pastor. Happy 20th anniversary.
Brother Tim, congratulations for the many years, it seems, over 20, and we appreciate you and appreciate that you're sticking to the word.
I've been to a lot of churches. I've never had a personal relationship with any of the pastors or really with any of the members from the church. So it was just really refreshing going to Faith and having a pastor who genuinely and authentically cares and goes out his way to make it known that he does.
A good memory I have of my dad is when we were little, my mom would have to run into the grocery store, and my sister and I, and sometimes Joe, when he was born, would be in the car, and we would be bored out of our mind waiting for my mom. So my dad would play that there was a robber and we would have to find him. So he would say, okay, there's a robber with a red shirt and jeans, and he's wearing a Cubs hat. And we would get so excited when we'd be like, oh Dad, like there he is. And we would find the robber, and we never caught on that he was just, and he would like cover his eyes and say, okay, I can't see him. And somehow we never caught on to that, but we loved that.
I find myself to be one of the most fortunate, blessed son-in-laws to come into such a beautiful family. I've had beautiful memories being led to the Lord, baptized, going on a missions trip, and then being wed by him in a span of about 3 years. So I'm thankful for that.
Something my dad, a phrase that he loves to say is, keep the main thing the main thing. And it's not only something that he says, but that's definitely something that he lives. There's no one better leading someone to Christ than he is. He's an amazing role model and an influence.
I was trying to think of like a, funny memory and whatnot. One that popped in my head was just, I remember when I was dating Jacqueline, and I don't know that Pastor Tim was super, enthusiastic about that. Not because of me. I think he liked me, but I think just because, well, I hope so. I just remember when I finally was making the decision that I was going to ask him for Jacqueline's hand in marriage. I remember I went to his office, we talked for a long time. We talked about finances and like lots of different things, and it felt like maybe 2 hours. And I remember I left thinking that he had said no, and then he had left thinking he had said yes. And there was obviously just some miscommunication. And so I remember we had another talk, and then we kind of nailed it down, and obviously, the rest is history. But
my mom went to him like, Tim, Kip thinks you said no to you marrying Jacqueline.
And I was like devastated.
A lesson that I've learned from my mom is, and I wasn't old enough to remember this, but I know when we moved here, my mom had a really hard time leaving her home and coming to California, a new ministry, a new place, just all the challenges that ministry brings. But I've just seen my mom have the determination to do what needs to be done, and knowing that God has called her here, she has really put her heart here. And now I know she would say she would rather be here than anywhere else, rather be here than in North Carolina with her family or where she was before. I know that her heart is really here. But it's been amazing to just see my mom overcome the challenges of coming to a new place and be willing to face the challenges and just really invest herself and put her heart in a ministry here. And now she just loves it, and her heart really is here.
I think one of the things that strikes me most about my mother and father-in-law is just that they're the same people like everywhere. Like when I run into Mrs. Rasmussen up in the office, or when I'm in staff meeting with Pastor Tim, they're the same people. Like, when they're at home, it's not like they kind of put on church or put on ministry. They're really who they are.
Thank you, Mom and Dad, for 20 years of service here at Faith Baptist, and I'm just so thankful for both of you and for your faithfulness to the Lord and for your faithfulness to our family. And Dad, I just appreciate your faithfulness to Mom and the way that you've treated her all these years. You've just been such a wonderful husband to her, and Mom, just thank you for being such a support to Dad. I know he couldn't have done what he's done if you hadn't been there keeping things afloat and keeping things going. And I just thank you guys for your faithfulness these 20 years. And I just think about how when I came here to be in first grade, to being married in this church, to having, both of my girls here now, and it's just amazing how much the Lord has done in these years. And I'm just so thankful for our church and for the people here and the way that they've loved on our family, and just thankful for my parents and for all that they've done here, and of course thankful to the Lord.